Check, check, check.
Someone just messaged me, the UN is meeting in New York. I'm like, the UN is in New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. My name is, God, the muscle memory makes me want to say Beau, but it's actually Reuben, joined here today with Aaron, and we are back to do a little recap of the Toronto International Film Festival. I'm surprised they still let Americans attend the festival, so that was very nice of them. We love the good people of Canada. And yeah, Aaron actually attended. I didn't. That's fine. I'm sure Aaron had a good time, and he's going to recap the movies that he watched, and he's going to let you know if they were good or bad, because that's what we do here. And before we get into today's episode, I want to let you guys know that you can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts, and also check out our Patreon page, where we just uploaded a review of Better Call Saul Season 1, which will eventually come out on this channel, but we're in no rush, because it's featuring Teddy. So if you want to listen to Teddy, got to go ahead over to the Patreon. And I also just did, what did I do with Cam? Oh, we did Peacemaker on the Patreon. So that was fun. It's been an interesting season. Are you caught up on Peacemaker?
No, I have to talk to you about that because I go to log into your HBO Max and what do you know it? They got us.
Oh, they clapped you, huh? They were like, we know that you're not at the main crib.
Yeah, I don't know how they know that, but they do. So fix it.
Palantir. Oh, what do you think? I have connections like that?
I don't know. Is there
Every piece of advice I've given at HBO, they spit in my face, and then they do it 6 months later.
You don't expect me to pay for it, do you?
I thought you were looped in. I thought you were looped in with Bugs and Daffy.
No.
And all the Muppets.
They're falling out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm sure it was hilarious.
Bugs kept dressing as a busty blonde woman and tricking me and then shooting me in the face.
That old trick.
Yeah.
Picking up your tongue from the floor, stuffing it back down your throat and shit. Yeah, no, that sucks. Because Peacemaker, I'd be interested to get your thoughts on it. I feel like a lot of people are enjoying it, but some people aren't. And the conversation's been interesting. And some cool theories, too.
I saw the first episode, before you kicked me off your HBO, but yeah, looked like Peacemaker.
What'd you think about the retcon? The new Justice Gang.
That was pretty funny, the way they did that. I was interested in how they were going to do the whole multiverse thing or whatever. They probably explain it better in later episodes that I haven't watched yet because I can't get onto HBO Max. But yeah, I was confused because like they have that space, that closet, like that connects to all the multiverses. But like, I feel like that wasn't. I don't know. I just got to learn more about that. Didn't make sense to me.
I could lend you a couple of novels if you want.
Because wouldn't they all know about it? Anyway, no, just pay for the upgraded plan and let me get back on it. I won't be chipping in. It's the last thing I'm going to do.
The dimension that he goes into actually takes place on Long Island.
Really?
So, yeah, that's fun. See if you spot any landmarks.
I don't know if we really have any landmarks.
Oh, that's our McDonald's. That's my hometown McDonald's. I always used to go there and get McDonald's. All right, well, let's get into this. A nice little TIFF recap. Aaron, the floor is yours. What did you watch at TIFF? What did you like the most? What did you hate the most? Any surprises? And we're going to title this with the Knives Out movie, because that seems to be the title that is going to do best. Maybe a little subtitle smashing.
Frankenstein's smashing machine.
Yeah, I don't think Frankenstein's selling. The kids want to see Frankenstein? No, the kids want to see the Knives Out.
Frankenstein is really big.
They want to see Benoit.
I didn't like the Knives Out, though.
Oh, you didn't like Knives Out? Interesting. Could we start there?
You want to start there?
Yeah, let's start there. Knives are out, baby.
Oh.
Sharp.
Yeah, no, that was actually like my biggest disappointment. Usually, like with these festivals, there's always like a few that like I definitely want to see, a few that I know that are getting a lot of hype, and then some that I'll just go see randomly that aligns with my schedule. But this was one of the ones I was looking most forward to because I did like the Glass Onion and the original Knives Out, and yeah, I was just very disappointed. And a lot of people, like I see on Letterboxd and Twitter and everything, seem to have really enjoyed it, and that's great. Like I'm not out fully on these movies, but I think this was the first big miss in this franchise. I think that in this movie in particular, I think in the first two, he did such a good job of utilizing his supporting characters and giving them fascinating backstories and a lot of stuff to do within the story. This one, I was very disappointed, especially like who they had. He always gets these giant casts that are filled with stars, and they all seem to get their moment to shine. But in this one, everyone besides Glenn Close and Josh O'Connor were pretty much useless. Maybe Josh Brolin, but like Mila Kunis was nothing. Jeremy Renner's character was a big nothing. Kerry Washington, Andrew Scott, Kaylee Spaney, like your big stars and little classic stars and a lot of up and comers and people who I was really excited to see, and Ryan Johnson who done it. And I just felt they had nothing to do. It was the most glaring issue I had with this movie. It just, because I feel like that was just a staple of the first two, being able to like we see it in lesser projects where you get these star-studded casts and you leave yourself asking like what was that for other than to sell tickets. But in this case with Ryan Johnson, the other two, he made sure everyone really got their shine, and this one was just a complete dud, I feel like. And that was the most disappointing thing for me. Even Glenn Close, a lot of people are like praising her performance, and it was a good performance, but I feel like that character really wasn't utilized to the best of their abilities. Like I hear people saying like Oscar nomination for Glenn Close, and I just didn't get that at all. I think if this was another actress besides Glenn Close, nobody would be saying that. And as far as the mystery is concerned, again, I just feel like the mystery just wasn't that intriguing. I was never really captivated by what he was trying to set up. And I feel like it kind of just stumbled into this revelation at the end that by the time it came, I really lost interest. And that's kind of a shame to say because I do have a lot of fun with these movies and I do enjoy them. And this one does have bright spots for me. I found it to be pretty funny. And I think Benoit Blanc Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc is like, I don't know, I can watch him do that accent and try to solve mysteries for the next 30 years. But everything else surrounding that, save him and Josh O'Connor, was very lackluster.
Yeah, I heard that his role in this movie is similar to the one he plays in the first, where he's not as involved right away, but as the mystery begins to unravel, he has a bigger role. And I liked in Glass Onion how he really drives that movie. He's all over it.
Right, and they do like the first 45 minutes of maybe, I don't know, I lose track of time. It all becomes a blur in these festivals when you're just seeing multiple movies a day and you're just exhausted by the end of it. And that could play a factor into it too. Like I was probably just really tired at the end and maybe it couldn't grab my attention if I was just seeing it on a random Tuesday. But it's like they have this big setup in the beginning and I feel like so much time was wasted with that and it really built into nothing in particular. I don't know. I was just waiting to be grabbed and sucked in. And that just never happened. But everyone else around me seemed to enjoy it. I was kind of like, at the end of it, I was like going to look around and be like, oh, that kind of sucked, right? But everyone was like clapping and like, yeah, that was cool. I'm like, oh, all right, I'm just going to leave. I think the Sunday Night Football game's on and we'll just go watch that.
Well, the festival audience can be a little misleading sometimes. I've watched movies that get ovations like they just experienced Beethoven resurrected, and then the movie comes out and nobody gives a shit. Like, it's good. It got good reviews, but just doesn't quite have that impact. But it's funny because for the people I follow on Letterboxd that were at TIFF, you weren't alone in not loving it. Where a couple of critics I like gave it 3 stars out of 5. I see you gave it 2.5. So, yeah, you weren't the only one who was underwhelmed. But overall, yeah, on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got like a 92%. And I'd be interested to see how I think, or what I think about it, because I didn't love the first one. I like it more now, but I really liked Glass Onion, so we'll see. When does that come out? I guess it's
a Netflix, I think in a couple weeks, actually.
Okay, yeah, no. I still hate that he sold his franchise to Netflix. That first movie came out and made hundreds of millions of dollars, original idea, franchise potential. And I don't want to say he sold out. I think that at the time it was different where streaming was more accepted, but I bet he regrets doing that. Not financially, but maybe artistically. Yeah, let's go to the next big one if you don't have anything more to say about Wake Up, Dead Man.
I should have left him asleep, you know what I'm saying?
So I'm looking at the yeah, that's good. Right. I'm looking at the plot. Who is the firebrand Monsignor? So it's Josh O'Connor going to assist who? Oh, that's got to be my boy from Midnight Mass, right?
Who?
No, he's not in this. Oh, is it Josh Brolin?
Yeah, Josh Brolin's the head of the church, and Josh O'Connor gets sent there. It was like his underling.
No, I thought I saw Hamish. I thought Hamish Linklater was in this.
No,
Next one.
Should have been. Should have just been the same character. Just give monologues. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I'll have to rewatch that.
Tis the season, you know.
Well, let's go on to Benny Safdie's The Smashing Machine, based on the documentary about martial arts and UFC fighter Mark Kerr, anticipated because of The Rock's transformation into this character, into this real life athlete, and a lot of hype going into this. You know, the Safdie's first film since Uncut Gems, or the first Safdie movie, and after their breakup. So what did you think, Aaron? Did you like The Smashing Machine?
Yeah, I did. Again, I don't know if I did a bad job of like, 'cause I feel like I missed some bangers, but like going into it, I'm like, I want to see this, Wake Up Dead Man, Frankenstein. Those were at the top of my list. And then everything else I can kind of piece together. This was like the one year I really didn't like truly study or like look into, like I knew a few other titles, like Sentimental Value, I just couldn't get a ticket for. No Other Choice, like was online for and got cut off. So there's a couple like that where I feel like I missed the best of the festival, where in years past I did a good job. Like this is like, I feel like in years past I've had like 4.5, 5 stars. And this year my highest is 4. And I think it's because I expected, like going into it, I'm like, all right, this is going to be the best movie or one of them. And I was just excited to see the Rock take on a role like this. We haven't seen him really take on a character this in depth and like really sink his teeth into a real character study since what, Skyscraper?
Yeah. No, that's like 6 or 7 years now, Skyscraper.
Yeah. I mean, everyone before this, they called him a skyscraper merchant because, you know, that was the pinnacle of The Rock's acting abilities and snubbed for the Oscars and every other award that season. So this was his chance at redemption, The Smashing Machine. And first of all, I just want to say he was very good in this. And just goes to show, like, just because trying to find another actor, you can maybe Sandler, but Sandler's proved it in the past. Uncut Gems wasn't a huge surprise. But for a generation, I feel like it could have been who maybe only knowledge of Sandler was like the Netflix era. But I think this is the first role where The Rock really got to, or Dwayne Johnson got to do something more than he's accustomed to doing, which is the prototypical big blockbuster action protagonist. And kind of do a more lower budget, very character driven story. And he was really fantastic. It's easy to say he's better than what we're used to, and that's why he's getting praise for, and that's why he's getting Oscar buzz. But I generally think if you view this performance in a vacuum without knowing who The Rock is or his previous roles and his previous acting ability, a lot of people would come away with the same conclusion that he's just a really good actor in this movie. And it's always fun to see like these, like with the Coens or the Safdies, when they kind of go off and do their own thing. It's like now we get to see who was really running the show, you know?
yeah who was bringing what to to the pairing.
And I think it is a well-directed movie. I think it could have been a little bit longer. And the story itself, I was kind of just waiting for, it's kind of a slow burn. And with knowing the runtime going into it, I'm just kind of waiting for the big explosive moment to happen to justify a feature film in this capacity. And that never really came. I was kind of just like appreciating the setup and enjoying what was happening and then dive into this man's life. But because of everything around it and I'm not familiar with the documentary, I've heard of Mark Kerr, but never really knew much about his life. So I was just kind of waiting for something big to happen to kind of justify this whole thing. And for me, it just never really came. That's probably my biggest criticism of the movie. It's still very well done and very well acted, and I did enjoy it, but I kind of left feeling like, oh, okay, That's not how I kind of expected everything to play out, because it's not much of a spoiler, but he does deal with like substance abuse problems and addiction, but that's kind of like, I don't want to say glossed over, but maybe it's not as dramatized as we were usually accustomed to seeing on film. It's kind of just like which is kind of very impressively done, like a fly on the wall perspective of this man's life. And it's not sensationalized in the way, like I said, we're accustomed to seeing in Hollywood productions. So I feel like some people might really appreciate that, and some people might feel a little bit what I feel, where it's kind of like, okay, well, what was really the point? And I guess looking back on it now, it's more of like just a glimpse into the mundane of it all, especially in this setting of a MMA fighter trying to make his way to a top and have to the top, but having to deal with failure and real life issues going on around him. So in that sense, it's like a really well done dive into, I guess, life. But I just feel like something was missing, and I can't really put my finger on it, especially from what we were used to with the Safdie productions. I guess the other one, I can't remember his name, he brought all the high octane intensity and anxiety, and Benny kind of the more character stuff, because I kind of was expecting kind of more of like a high octane type, like, what we felt with Uncut Gems or Good Time, and this was just turned it down just all the way to the other side, which I kind of appreciated. But yeah, it was just missing that extra something to make it a truly compelling story.
Yeah, it sounds like they struggled justifying turning a documentary into a narrative film. Sometimes things just work better as a documentary.
Right, and I feel like too, like casting Ryan Bader as a UFC fighter. I think it's his first acting performance, and he's playing pretty much the second lead. Well, no, it's Emily Blunt and Dwayne are the two stars, but he's the most important supporting character of the movie. He's never really acted before, but like he did a good job. But like the character was very much, that's what added to the whole like realness of the movie. It just seemed like a regular guy. Nothing was turned up because it was going to be a movie. And I think that performance actually really like worked in the context of what they were trying to do. And it's kind of impressive to see someone take on such a big role who's never acted before, coming from being an athlete to starring in a motion picture starring The Rock.
How was Emily Blunt?
No, she was good. I mean, the performances are like, we're all very good across the board. But I don't know if it's like just something where maybe I was expecting one thing and got something completely different, but I'm usually able to adjust pretty on the fly. Like when I expect something and something else happens, and I'm usually able to jump on board with like, okay, this is a bit of an unexpected experience for me, but like, yeah, let me vibe with what's going on here. I still gave it 3.5, so I still enjoyed it to a certain extent, but I just felt like if there's just a little bit more to grab out of that story. I don't know. I mean, it is reality, so it's hard to, I'm not saying make shit up, but especially with like some of the substance abuse stuff, it was kind of, there was like no lesson to be learned there. It's kind of just there, and then it's not,
Yeah, it does sound like it had a hard time justifying its existence as a movie.
Yeah, but like I said, if that's truly the goal here, is just to have this peek into life, then it succeeded. And I'm not saying he did a bad job at that. I'm just saying sometimes that's not the most interesting thing to tackle. But there are a couple like really good scenes where The Rock really can show how good of an actor he is, and there are some really good moments. I thought the fight choreography was done really well, just to like the fight atmosphere in general, because it is like, it's a little depressing because it's before the UFC and MMA is what it is now. So liken it to maybe The Wrestler in some aspects, where it's kind of depressing that you're putting yourself through all this hardship and struggle, and at the end of the day, for what,
Right. Yeah, it makes more sense today when there's all the money.
But yeah, even like in the calmer moments when he's just being himself, and he's not fighting, he's not arguing, not on drugs, and he's just being who this guy really was in real life, who is just a very soft, caring, like a big, like massively like scary guy because he's so huge and muscular, but very soft spoken, very kind, very respectful. And in those moments, I think he really shines with his performance.
Yeah, I mean, you don't become arguably the most iconic wrestler ever by not being a good actor. So he's always had it in him. And people often point to his roles as when his characters are more lively, and even in Pain and Gain when he's kind of tweaking in some of those scenes, that he's good at that. And I think his experience as a professional wrestler and growing up around that kind of stuff, it's a world that he's familiar with, even though he wasn't a UFC fighter. But the world of big, hyper masculine dudes, working out, throwing weights, taking painkillers, he knows that shit. So, and he's a good actor. Like I said, he's a good performer. I think it's just more so he was super lazy when he got to his peak of popularity. Instead of challenging himself, he just kept chasing those big, stupid blockbusters.
Yeah, he definitely played it
Skyscraper.
safe. I mean, the new movie that they announced, I feel like will be actually more interesting.
Yeah, where he's the chicken man.
Yeah.
Or he's got a giant chicken friend.
The chicken's involved.
Yeah, there's a chicken involved. No, it's just so funny that Cena and Bautista forced him into taking better roles. He saw all the acclaim they were getting and thought, you know what? I want that. I'm tired of barely breaking even on all these movies I keep trying to shove down everybody's throats.
Yeah, can we stop, like, now that we know it's for a role, but like with Bautista and The Rock, it's like these are aging men who are living unhealthy lifestyles. People see how big and muscular they are, like, oh, they got to be healthy. It's not that healthy, and like they lose a little weight to be normal elder men, and everyone freaks out.
Yeah, I know, dude. They really look at them like All Might. They're disgusted by them if they're not yoked. And we can't be naive. These guys are on steroids, so it is good that they might not be using steroids anymore. I mean, a lot of fucking actors. That's everybody was saying about Chris Evans. Not saying he was on steroids, but he might be. But him showing up to TIFF all jacked, everyone's like, oh, looks like he's coming back as Johnny Storm. Well, let's move on to Frankenstein, because I'm interested to hear what you thought about this. Guillermo del Toro, I wouldn't say he's hit or miss. He's almost like hits a little less for some people. So, what did you think of Frankenstein, starring Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi and a bunch of other people I like?
Well, at the rip, I'll say Elordi's fucking great. And I think that's the biggest takeaway most people have. And like, I don't know why they're such a surprise. I guess like when you see like the new handsome heartthrob on that hits the scene, people kind of, their acting ability is usually the second thing or third thing that people care about. And they kind of get discredited out of the gate. But like, I feel like he's been really good in pretty much everything I've seen him in. I liked him in Saltburn a lot. I thought he was good as Elvis. And here he's like, I don't know, his physical performance is incredible. Kind of taking on, this is where I don't want to really watch out about spoilers, but like seeing him, well, we all know Frankenstein, the gist of it, right? You gotta know Frank. But seeing his character evolve from when he's this kind of pretty much like a newborn with no world experience, kind of trying to put the pieces together of who he is and why is he here and why is he different, and having this child like perspective on things and growing into kind of understanding his place in the world, and how that requires very different physical cues, emotional cues, evolving your performance as the character evolves. And he adapts very well, and easily the standout of this movie. I saw some people say Oscar Isaac might be a miscast. I didn't think so. I think he's really good as Dr. Frankenstein. That's right. You got to remember, Frankenstein's the monster, you know? Dr. Frankenstein, that's the doctor. People don't know that.
Okay. I thought he was Frankenstein's monster.
I don't know how it works. People just love being like, well, actually.
Well, yeah, I know you were you made the mistake that everybody always makes.
I saw that argument. The monster is actually Frankenstein too.
there might be a little Frankenstein in all of us.
And I think that's what this movie's really trying to teach its audience, you know?
Right. Yeah, we all trying to find our place. All of us tall, monstrous creatures.
And I haven't read the original.
Oh, you haven't read the original Frankenstein novel?
But I see some people saying it's a faithful adaptation. Some people saying it's not. I don't know. It's like I said, I didn't read it. I would love to come out here and say it's a great adaptation, but I'd be lying. No one likes a liar.
Right. And then the other side of that, nobody likes the whole smug, well, in the book. So just be you.
Yeah, no, when I was walking out, I heard two people talking about how it was a good adaptation. Then I saw online it wasn't. So I don't know what to think.
I have to get those people in a room.
Yeah. I mean, I was expecting, you know, like the little like bolts out of its neck, the way like the high top fade, green.
Top hat. Yeah, top hat.
That's what I'm paying for when Frankenstein. Arms out. Or is that a mummy? Who does the arms? That's Frankenstein, right?
I feel like that could be a mummy too. I feel like mummies slowly chase you that way. Yeah.
Not one Monster Mash needle drop.
That's upsetting. Or
no, but
Kanye West monster. That's the one monster Jay-Z didn't name. That's interesting.
The Babadook.
The monster from Cloverfield.
But this is probably my favorite, well, tied for my favorite movie, Leaving TIFF. And I just really like Guillermo del Toro. I think when he gets to really sink his teeth into this type of setting, and like we all know how he loves his monsters. So hearing that he was going to make this movie initially, I was very excited for it, and it worked for me. It's kind of one of those, I feel like a lot, not even about the whole like whether it's a good adaptation or not, but I feel like the sentiment on this one's kind of split too, where one of those things where it either works for people or it doesn't. And
yeah, it seems like I follow the same 4 people that you guys have all gone to TIFF, and Matt kind of liked it, 3.5, and then the other 2 critics I follow both gave it 2. And what did you give it? 4. And then actually somebody else a friend who was at TIFF gave it 4 as well.
All right.
He said it reminded him of a movie from 2007 in the best possible way.
What's 2007? I'm trying to put myself.
Kind of campy, Twilighty, Harry Pottery, angsty, gothic.
Maybe, but
Giants winning the Super Bowl.
I always hate non-spoiler reviews because I'm not good enough at speaking to convey what I want without pointing to specific plot points and things.
Right.
But I think the development of the Frankenstein character is something that I very much enjoyed. And a lot of people seem to think that that's where a lot of the movie was lacking, where it looks beautiful, the setting, the atmosphere is all very Guillermo del Toro, and that stuff's all great, but when it comes down to the story elements and beats, that's where it lacks. I didn't think of it that way. Again, I'm not too familiar with Frankenstein, so maybe this kind of story has been, and it's not like a unique story, well, in the sense of like other properties, and kind of carries the same sentiment throughout, and might have done a better job at it, and maybe it's a bit of a stale premise, but that goes back to, if it is a good adaptation, like, what is he supposed to do? His hands are tied. That's the story. That's what I'm going to tell. And there's also, what's his name? Why can't I remember this? Walder Frey actor, David Bradley. He's in it. And like, talk about a guy where like, I saw him and I got mad. But in this, he's just a sweet old man. I'm like, oh, maybe I've judged you too harshly. Still killed my boy Rob, but...
Well, Rob was supposed to marry his daughter.
Yeah, that's true. He did pull the okie doke on him. I'd have been pissed too.
I mean, that pissed? Like, chill out. Like, I don't know, kill my mom.
Jeez.
What? I got a kingdom to run.
A couple other Game of Thrones alums too. Charles Dance is in it. Bern Gorman.
Oh, yeah, that's my guy. That's Guillermo's guy, too. I feel like he always pops up as a little freak in Guillermo's movies. I was a fucking legend.
Mia Goth plays two characters. I didn't know you could do that unless you're Eddie Murphy.
I was just about to say, yeah, that's the first time we've seen that since Murph.
I mean, Michael B. Jordan just did it, but I feel like playing twins is different.
No, it's way different. And Tilda Swinton played 3 characters in Suspiria, but 3's not 2.
No, if you have 2 characters, you don't have 1. That's what I always say.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Little John Gruden philosophy to film. I like that. Just directors. What was his show? The QB show? Just you fucking grilling directors. I got you wide angle here, okay? You're gonna want a close up on their face, right? That's a job made for a close up.
You really think you earned this dolly zoom here? Because it kind of just comes out of nowhere.
I'm getting vertigo just watching this, man.
Dutch angle after Dutch angle. Golly, I don't even know which way's up here, man. Dutch oven, that's always a funny trick to play.
So you said this was your tied for your favorite.
Yeah, I really like the atmosphere. I really loved what Elordi did with the character, that whole development. It was just the most I felt like out of the movies I saw. And like I said, I missed probably the main takeaways or the best ones leaving the festival. This is one of the only ones that I was really start to finish on board with and kind of grabbed in by. And, you know, I'm not, maybe it's a little biased. Guillermo del Toro is one of my favorite directors, and I pretty much always enjoy his work. I feel the same with this movie. Maybe not. I don't think it's like Pan's Labyrinth or even like Shape of Water, but I just enjoyed the journey we are taken on by Lordy's Frankenstein, and even the buildup I enjoyed. This kind of mad scientist obsessed with kind of playing God as a way to deal with his childhood trauma and his obsession of creating this monster. And then I think one review was like played into the fact it's like, yeah, you spend your whole life's work and obsessed over this thing, and then once it's made, you're like, ooh, what? I don't like this. You did the thing that you set out to do, and you're like, ooh, okay. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. And I think it plays with the idea of Frankenstein, because now, like, I've always viewed Frankenstein as it's not his fault that he was brought into this world and is a sympathetic character, but it kind of plays with that a little bit, where he's not the, Mighty Joe Young. Remember that movie, Mighty Joe Young? That was sad. But it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
He was just being Mighty Joe Young.
I mean, shit, dude. Like, if with a name like that,
Yeah.
compare him to Wimpy Joe Old.
Wimpy Joe Old. No one's taking that seriously.
You want to help him?
It makes you think. Who's the real monster,
Oh, one of those, huh?
Yeah. But not too much.
Let me guess, capitalism? Somebody's got to take that motherfucker out.
Speaking of Putin, Jude Law plays Putin. Did you know that? Not in this movie.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say. Fucking Dracula Putin showing up. Yeah, the Wizard of the Kremlin. And who was the wizard? Was it Paul Dano or some shit like that?
Paul Dano, yeah.
Yeah, he was doing a Russian accent?
Not really. It was one of those.
Like for maybe the opening line?
Yeah, it's like they really didn't pay attention to accents, which is fine.
So even Jude Law didn't do one?
He did, but like... part of me was like, get Russian actors, but like other movies haven't done that, and I haven't minded in the past. And there's the whole thing too. You hear about this with NHL players from Russia. It's like they can't be critical of Russia because their family is still there. So like if you're a Russian actor who can do a good Russian accent because you're Russian, you might not be inclined to take such roles because of who you might have back home and could be in danger. So
100%, dude.
You can give it a pass with that. But yeah, they describe this character as like this era's, what's his name? Rasputin.
Interesting.
And so like, I'm like, we got, I don't know about this guy. We got Putin, like post-Cold War, Soviet Union. How is it going to, you go from that to where the government is now, and like the intricacies of the what goes on in the Kremlin, and like, oh, this movie's gonna rock, and which is so much stuff to take from and delve into, which just doesn't. It's the most boring movie about something that should be interesting. Like, you have this guy kind of not necessarily pulling the strings, but having a large impact of kind of how Russia as we know it today came into be. And with all that at your disposal, they just didn't dive deep into anything in particular. It was kind of just a flash of maybe 20, 30 years, bits and pieces that never really, it's like a free sample, you know?
How long was it? Oh my God. 156 minutes?
Yeah, like 2.5 hours. Yeah.
That's brutal. So what did they bomb those Chechen apartments? Was that an inside job? Did they cover that?
Yeah, but like not really. It's like it happened, and they're kind of like, oh, could have been us.
They like imply that, yeah. They should have just
and
went
like
for
other
it,
characters
right?
confront them on it, but like it's just very brushed over. Like you're covering like you should have just sunk your teeth into one aspect of it rather than this span over 30 years and kind of try to touch everything. You spread yourself too thin at that point, where just pick like a very important moment and have some little setup, some little aftermath, but like really dig your teeth into something that's worth approaching. It's like Tarantino once said, well, I once saw him say it on a YouTube short in an interview. He would never do a biopic. He would just pick an important part a day or something in that person's life and tackle that.
Right. It's kind of like how what's his face did the Steve Jobs movie.
Yeah.
God, who was that fucking director? Is that Danny Boyle?
Ashton Kutcher.
Oh God, this guy's still alive? Let's see. Oh, so he's inspired by somebody. Yeah, he is still alive. Look at that. He looks like he's pulling the strings.
I guess it was kind of cool in some parts, like seeing Putin is like just like such a infamous person, and I don't really know much about him, like how he got to be where he was. So like some of that I found interesting from a learning perspective. But you ready for some Sweeney talk?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that movie. What was that one called again?
Christy.
Yeah. No, when I saw the video that you posted, I was like, damn, they're doing MAGA rallies at TIFF? That's crazy. I didn't think you attended. I think you infiltrated. So keep that on the down low. We'll cut that out. Whatever you learned, just it dies with you if anybody's listening.
No, I wouldn't willingly go, but I feel like it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's like a Larry David situation. You're like, oh, what's going on here? A lot of people going. Oh, a lot of people all gathered for something. Let me see what this is about. Then like I'm in the background of like just some video of like a speech. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be your Jerry Jones picture in 50 years.
I'm curious. Curiosity killed the cat. That's what they say. If I see something going on, I'm gonna check it out.
What is this movie called again? Misty?
Christy.
Yeah, she's another one who I think is a good actor. Some people don't think so.
She's good in this, but there are points where like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like sometimes I feel like it's very evident that she's acting.
That's never good.
And no, like in things prior, and maybe a little bit in this, but for the most part, I think she's actually really solid in this. And it's a very fucking, it's a true story. Do you know about this? You hear about this?
No, I don't know shit about this.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking wild.
I'm assuming she's a really good boxer, but everything like in her personal life is going really well.
The opposite.
Oh,
personal
boy.
life's in shambles.
Oh,
the only
God
outlet
damn
is
it.
the ring.
The ring, yeah, the ring.
I mean, she's a kind of a. Well, I don't know what I was going to say. We start that over. It's a true story, so I guess I can like give some details. She's basically she's growing up in like I guess a small like Christian family unit, has a girlfriend, family doesn't approve, and she kind of uses boxing as an outlet where her manager or a boxing coach uses his influence to, I guess, manipulate her, and they they start a relationship, and he kind of uses that relationship to his advantage, where she just wants to box, she wants to live her life, but everything around her is kind of, pretty shitty. And I think it's another thing about with like the Smashing Machine. It's like nowadays with like Ronda Rousey's and like Amanda Nunes and she's like really good. The woman boxer who was always like on the Jake Paul boxing matches. Anyway, women's sports is definitely in a different place now than it was back then. So her being like this pioneer of women's boxing and actually becoming a relatively big figure in sports and making a living and kind of showing the obstacles she had to go through to kind of be a pioneer in women's sports, while also dealing with just again, you don't know about it, so I don't want to spoil it, a really insane kind of home life. And it's one of those like biopic sports movies that, it is a sports movie due to the nature of it being focused on her boxing career, but everything else surrounding it is probably the more interesting part of it.
What did you give this one on Letterboxd?
I think 3.5.
Okay, not bad.
It still has its sports biopic isms to it, and I think a well done documentary, which there probably is, would be better. But it's still a very entertaining and kind of wild movie at times. And like I said, I think she does a pretty good job here. And you could probably read up on it after or watch the documentary, but it is like a insane story. It's like a lot of it. That's the thing with true stories. It's like, if it's a crazy enough story, people are going to kind of gravitate towards it regardless of how good the movie is.
No, it's going to make some noise.
Yeah, I wonder how to weigh that, How good is the movie versus how crazy is this real life story? Ben Foster, he's someone who like should have a statue.
He's so good. Yeah, he's one of our best.
Not like an Oscar, but like a I don't know, in Chicago.
Big gold statue of him holding a Bitcoin.
Yeah, he's good. I enjoy him. And we get Don King, which is not a spoiler because it's in the trailer. It's always fun to see Don King.
Would you mind speed running through your remainings? Only because I have to go to the airport. I have to pick somebody up at the airport. Told him I pick them up.
That's terrible.
Such
There's
a good guy.
Public transportation for a reason.
No, I know,
JFK
right?
or LaGuardia?
LaGuardia.
Oh, yeah, that's a toughie.
Yeah, I know.
Not really. You just got to take a bus, but that added step. Just put me on the train.
I know, right?
Yeah. So I'll run through the rest. The new Steven Soderbergh, The Christophers, about an artist, a famous artist who kind of older in age, and his kids are like, "Hey, die already," or like, "Give me all your money." And James Corden plays one of the kids, and that's just James Corden, Jessica Gunning. They're the perfect like shit kids.
And it's Ian McKellen as the dad. That's funny.
Yeah, and Michaela Cole is like the protege. She's like gets close with him. She's an artist also. If this sounds, and this might sound intriguing to you. If you just enjoy two artistic people in a like house together, kind of matching wit and skill and talking about something they're both passionate about or their outlooks on things, then you're going to enjoy this. A little slow moving for my taste, but I did enjoy parts of it, and I thought he's great. He has such a natural charisma to him. McKellen, you can just listen to him speak, and he's old from a different era, and he's like has his view on what art is, and it's kind of a clashing of eras versus just I don't want to say maybe like an apprentice teacher relationship, because they do have not clash in the sense of anything that's super demonstrative, or I can't say that word. These big blow ups, but like just different views on things and different. It's good. I think that's the most it could be. No one will probably ever see it. It'll be on Paramount Plus 2.0 in 8 months.
Does Soderbergh ever see his family?
He makes a lot of movies. He had 2 this year.
I know. Because I was just reading a review of somebody who didn't like Black Bag, and I was like, I forgot Black Bag was a movie that came out this year.
Black Bag ruled. Presence I liked.
Yeah, I never saw Presence.
Yeah, it's a good one too. I was gonna say he just makes good movies, nothing great of recent, but I think Black Bag is actually. I like Black Bag.
Lucy Liu is in Presence? How have I not seen that?
Yeah, missing out. Next we'll go Steve. It's a movie called Steve.
Oh, I love this run by Cillian Murphy of picking the most boring movies possible after he won an Oscar. Always
this one
happens.
Wasn't too
man.
boring. He's a teacher who, the headmaster of a school that takes on problematic students and tries to give them a second chance. And
Is he
what?
Irish or American?
He's, I think they're in England, but he's Irish.
Bit of an outsider.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, enemy territory.
But yeah, he's really good in this role, and he's like, I feel like it's something that we've seen before. Like, how do I reach these kids? You know?
Yeah.
But he's dealing with his own problems, you know? The kids ain't the only ones with their problems. He's got problems too.
I'm sure he had a couple of things up his sleeve and
yeah, and
TikTok.
It's a very like depressing movie at times, but very depressing at times. But a very sad but kind of hopeful ending in a way that, like, yeah, I was welling up a little bit. I'm like, oh, I don't know how to feel after that, because it's basically this group of kids that everyone's given up on, and he's kind of the last line of defense to try to help them reach their potential. And you know, it's not always in the cards for some people, but he does his best with kind of what he can do. And it's just, you know, him and his staff are just, they really care about the work they're doing, and they try their best to make it happen. And he's really good. I mean, it's Cillian Murphy. He's always good, but it's, yeah, I think by the premise, you can kind of, you know what you're getting into with this kind of movie. So if that's something you like, then you will. If like maybe you feel like you've seen it before, or you know how the story plays out, and you're not really in the mood to be depressed, then, you know, don't watch it. But that's Steve. You'll never guess what his name is.
Okay, so I'm going to guess it's Steve, but there's also somebody in the cast who's named Marcus Garvey, which at first I was like, this can't be Marcus Garvey, the Jamaican Pan-Africanist activist from the 20th century. And it wasn't. It's just some white guy.
Yeah. No, it's Steve. Yeah, Cillian Murphy plays Steve. So
this is not the same Steve that Michael Fassbender plays in Steve.
No, that was Jobs. Steve Jobs?
I could have sworn
I've never seen any of those.
Oh no, Michael Fassbender plays Frank. Sorry, not to be confused with Steve. But continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I think of it.
Roofman. Oh, I'm looking at your list now. Look at that.
Yeah, Roofman. This was fun. I don't know. Call me crazy. Channing Tatum breaking into places and living in a Toys R Us via the roof. I can't think of Channing Tatum without Danny McBride calling him Channing Tatum. Yeah, another true story. A lot of true stories. This guy just like break into McDonald's and he got arrested. So he escaped jail and then hid in a Toys R Us for like 3 months. 6 months. Crazy guy.
That was like my dream when I was 10 years old. 10-year-old me would have went crazy for this movie.
Yeah, but it was I think it's just it's a good 3-star movie. It's like it's the most 3-star movie you'll ever see. And you get some laughs, you got some cool things. The whole premise is a little wacky. And he's got himself he misses his kids, but he can't see his kids because he's on the run, and he falls in love with somebody else. He's got to keep this secret, and then it gets kind of sad. Oh no, what's gonna happen?
You reap what you sow, Roofman.
Free Roofman. I think he's back in jail.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
They're not going to review his case like the Menendez? I thought that's how it goes in Hollywood. You get a movie, they review your case. Epstein's like, where's my fucking movie? Oh, no, wait. Epstein's dead.
Little advice for 47, people have been, not loving everything you've been doing. You want to win some people back. Pardon Roofman.
That would be monumental. That would be huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be like the stock charts, approval rating through the fucking roof, man.
Yeah, maybe we'll get we'll get Ian McKellen to play you in Roofman too when you pardon him.
Just Ian McKellen doing a Trump. He could probably do it. I'll give him Trump.
What else we got? Oh, good news. Another true story. Did you ever hear about this when they hijacked a plane in Japan because they wanted to? It was these communist extremists that wanted to go to North Korea, so they hijacked a plane in Japan, and we're just going to take it to North Korea.
Oh, I have heard about this. Yeah, what was their group name?
I don't know.
I feel like I remember the name, but then I remember hearing about this.
And then they fake them out. I don't want to, in case you don't know, I don't want to spoil it. But I think it's a Netflix movie, so it should come out soon on Netflix for free.
Oh, yeah, the Red Army faction.
Yeah. It's a very interesting true story. This one's deserving of a movie, but it's very comedic too. It's very, it's got, I wouldn't say a full out comedy, but a lot of comedic aspects to this kind of crazy situation that really plays well. And just the incompetence of both the Japanese and South Korean governments on how to handle this situation is just kind of ridiculous. And I kind of love when movies do that, where they take a kind of serious situation and play into the absurdity of how it was handled.
Yeah. Death of Stalin. Best one ever.
Yeah. Maybe not quite as absurd as Death of Stalin, but there are some moments that are that tinker onto that kind of side of the fence, and maybe just a little too long where you kind of lose interest towards the end. But if you don't know the story, you're going to be intrigued with that and just how they play with it and kind of ramp up some of the ridiculousnesses, the true actions, but kind of playing into how ridiculous they are. It's very entertaining. And it made me depressed because I've been learning Japanese, and turns out I don't know when it's Japanese or Korean. So not doing too good on that front. I feel like I should be able to differentiate between two completely different languages by this point, but
no, they're not even the same language family.
No, it's just two completely different languages. And it switches so often between Korea perspectives and Japan perspectives, and like I felt like I was like, okay, yeah, we're in Japan here because I recognize some of this. I didn't. So, and then Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie.
Oh yeah, I was jealous that you got to see this, man.
Tied for my favorite movie. Just a ridiculous fucking. These guys are insane. I never watched the show, but I feel like I like now seeing the movie. Just like these guys are insane in the best way. Just the premises of everything. I guess it's the same in the show where like their whole goal is the
exact premise. Every episode of the show is the same premise. And
they're still doing it like 20 years later. They're trying to get this gig. And the lengths they go through, it's just so fucking funny. Things I just couldn't conceive of.
He was a director of BlackBerry.
Yeah, he's in it, right? He's the the sweatband guy, right?
Yeah. And his next one is he's doing the Anthony Bourdain biopic.
Insanely talented. I mean, BlackBerry ruled. This movie was fucking bonkers.
How are the bits with real people?
Yeah, like I wasn't expecting any of that. I didn't know like that's what they did. Fucking hilarious. There's one where they try to sneak wire cutters into, it's like that tower in Toronto. You can like put a bungee on. You can't jump, but like you can walk around it, but they put the cord on. It's like make sure you don't fall off and die. And there's security, and he's trying to bring wire cutters into it. And they're like, why you have the wire cutters? Like, oh no, yeah, I like to like cut my pants and stuff. Like it makes this absurd excuse, and they're like, all right, come on in. Like just some of these, and even when he goes to buy the cutters, he tells the guy what they're for. And like all these, you expect people to be more rational or like question things, but like regular people out in the wild are just oblivious.
No, they're so checked out. Yeah, this one got a couple of 5 stars from the people I follow who were at TIFF. This seems to be one of the best reviewed movies of the. Oh, okay. You saw a press screening.
And I don't know. I'm not 100% sure a lot of them knew what they were in for. Neither was I to an extent, but I kind of got the, a little background on it. But I feel like if I was in a theater with 1,000 fans, I feel like everyone just laughing and in on the joke. It would have been a great experience.
Yeah, that's especially a public screening too, because you get a lot of the locals and them being Canadians. It was like when we saw that Alison Pill movie, even though that was a press screening, but it felt like the local crowd really enjoyed seeing a lot of the familiar landmarks.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was walking around after the movie and I saw where they were. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, no, dude, there's I've told you about this episode a million times, but when he watches Star Wars for the first time and he goes blind because he was watching too close to his TV. And he shows up to The Force Awakens and his boy has to describe the entire movie for him. He's like, all right, open and crawl. Oh, Luke's back. Everyone's like, shh, can you shut up? He's like, my friend's blind. He can't fucking see. I've never seen season 2. I think it's streaming somewhere.
I don't know if that's a spoiler, but they go to the movies in this one too, and it's fucking hilarious.
Oh man, I'm excited. I hope that gets I can't imagine it's going to get a wide release, but hopefully it comes out.
Let me see what the synopsis says. Okay, so yeah, the synopsis is they go back in time. So they go back to 2008 and they don't know it, and they go into the movie theater and it's a very 2008 movie with a very 2008 joke. Like looking around and like, what the fuck? Like that's the indication that they're 20 years in the past. You can't say that anymore.
I actually watched his first movie the other day. It's called The Dirties. It's about 2 high school kids who decide to get back at their bullies by making a short film in which they kill them. Same type of comedy where you're not quite sure what's real and what's not, and it's very funny, very dark. But I'm really excited for this dude. He's fun, and I love what he did with Blackberry, because it fits so well into his filmography. And he even said when he was making that movie that it was a Trojan horse, where the studio wants to make this because they think people will want to see it. And you go, okay, we'll do this, but you do it your way when they're not looking over your shoulder. But with something like this, it's so cheap, it's so easy for them to do. It's fun that they keep going back to it. And just the title alone, when I describe it to people that they call themselves Nirvana the band, and people are like Nirvana? And they're like, yeah, but Nirvana the band. It just fucking makes me laugh. Dude, the season finale for season 1 is one of the most batshit fucking things I've ever seen in my life. And I imagine that the movie is just kind of like that too.
There's one part in this movie that made the whole place shake. It
Man,
was
I'm jealous.
So fucking insane, but so fucking funny. And it's like you get a sense of like what's coming, but like when it's fucking it's crazy.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good movie to see with a packed crowd.
It's so fucking stupid too. I can't wait for you to see it.
And that's it, right? That wraps up your TIFF movies.
Yeah, should have seen more, but a lot of things overlapped, and a lot of things I just couldn't get into. I got an hour early, and they still cut off the line. What are you gonna do?
Well, you weren't there for that long either, right?
Like 4 days.
Yeah, I feel like years past you stayed 7, 6, 7.
And Sundays I gotta forego once in a lifetime movie viewing experiences to watch the Jets lose. So
yeah, you just never learn, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of a sickness when you think about it. Like I built my whole schedule around Sunday 1:00.
Yes, no, it certainly is. Who were they playing again?
The Steelers.
Okay, week 1.
Week 1, the whole
week 1. If you would have built it around Jets Bills, I would have been more disappointed.
Week 9 and they were 2-7.
You're still doing it. You would still build the schedule around them, but
no, I'll watch it on my phone in the theater.
Yeah, like a respectable person.
Not an animal.
Yeah, I'm upset that I didn't get to go because I always like the vibes in Toronto. Toronto is a great city. And I'm not going to the New York Film Festival this year. So no festivals for me this year. A little disappointing. But one of these years I really want to go to Cannes just so I can be in France.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Everyone was like sad for me. So I was the only Jet fan in the bar. I was like a zoo animal. Everyone was pulling for me at one point, and like they lost. Like, sorry, buddy. It's okay. I'm just like, I'll fucking kill myself.
Yeah, it just makes you feel worse. It's like, why do you people care? But if you won, you would have been celebrating with them.
Because they're so hard. It's not like I was rooting for the Chiefs, you know? Everyone's like, oh, look at this little Jet. Like, oh,
yeah,
we're pulling for you, buddy. I was going, they're so good. Everyone's high-fiving. Everyone's like, yeah, so happy for you. And they fucking lost.
Yeah, great game, too, man. Back and forth, back and forth. Aaron Rodgers is so unlikable.
Yeah, I can finally say he's a fucking prick.
He's such a fucking prick. Those comments, and then to just get waxed in week 2. Yeah, I guess hang the banner. You beat the Jets. You beat the Jets after they bent over backwards to do everything you wanted for 2 years, and you still sucked for them. But congrats.
He's such an asshole. But when he was on the team, when he first signed, I was like, maybe vaccinations don't work. I don't know. My quarterback said so.
Now you're like mandatory masks indoors at all times. You burn the Aaron Rodgers jersey and you burn your RFK jersey.
Dude, I got a Funko Pop Aaron Rodgers. I don't know where that is. I couldn't look at it anymore. It was right next to fucking Deku and Shigaraki. And then once he left, I'm like, yep, no use for this anymore.
Dude, tell me why I have a Pokemon card that's like gone up 5 times in value. Actually, scratch that from the record. I'm not trying to get robbed.
No, those Venusaurs are getting popular.
It's actually a little Squirtle blowing a bubble. It's pretty cute.
That's adorable.
Well, Aaron, I appreciate you going over these films that you watched at TIFF. Some big ones that people aren't anticipating, like The Knives Out, The Smashing Machine, Misty, Christy.
You got Pokemon on the brain, huh?
I do. Gotta catch them all, baby. We need a good new Pokemon. I'm sure there's been one, but so I just saw Demon Slayer broke the anime record for opening weekend in the US. It broke the Pokemon movies record. You familiar with the Pokemon?
What was I watching? Sopranos. So I'm gonna hit a truck. It's full of Pokemon cards.
That's Chris, right?
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers really just be stealing anything they can flip. Yeah, dude, you have about 4 years until the rest of the Demon Slayer movies come out because they're doing the final arc all in theaters. And this first part was pretty awesome. A lot of complaints about the pacing because it's a little clunky with the flashbacks and the action, but it's also 2.5 hours. It feels like 8 episodes just all mashed together. Some of the best animation I've ever seen. Yeah, that's one where it's not quite as funny as some of its action contemporaries, but it's very earnest and it's more classic. Good versus evil, the light and the dark, and the gray in the middle. So it feels more like a sweeping epic, and still has a lot of like the typical humor, but doesn't lay it on
boring
as thick
rainbow.
What was that?
It sounds like a boring rainbow. Gray.
That's
white, and
yeah.
Black.
Yeah. But the action's sick. No, it really does have like the best. Cam is someone who's kind of been hot and cold on Demon Slayer, but the action always brings him back in because the fights are just.
Cam loves action scenes.
Yeah, he does. He loves his action. He loves getting hype watching something and saying it's better than Lord of the Rings for some reason. That seems to always be like his. So, this is no. Now he's saying One Piece will be remembered like the Odyssey. Which I was like, I feel like the Odyssey might still be remembered as the Odyssey, but no, the Odyssey's kind of old. Maybe we'll see what else gets remembered along with the Odyssey.
Everything's peak for him, I feel like you can't have if everything's peak. That's just
yeah, no, he lives in a world of sunshine and roses. You need a little dark. You need a little gray. You need a little rain. That's what 50 Cent taught us when we were young. Sunny days wouldn't be special if it wasn't for rain.
I lived by those words every day of my life since. Death got to be easy because life is hard, you know?
Khalees said her milkshake bring all the boys to the yard. Then Nas went and tattooed the bitch on his arm. He also said that. 50 was going at everybody, dude. He was taking shots at Walt Whitman, Shakespeare. All right, that's going to do it today for our podcast, recapping TIFF 2025.
Have it your way. How do you want it?
Aaron, thanks so much for going over the films that you watched. Thanks for attending. Feel like you did a good job. Good job watching. Good job reviewing.
Yeah.
What else you got going on? Any plans for the weekend? Gonna go to watch any? I'm excited, man. Fucking one battle after another. It's getting tens across the fucking board.
Is that out this weekend?
Next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Saying Leo's coming for his second Oscar. PTA's coming for his first.
Sheesh.
And Sean Penn, they're saying favorite for supporting. It's going to be a fun Sinners. I hope Sinners can still get a lot of love, but I don't know. This one's looking like, and PTA's directed some masterpieces already. Everyone seems to be saying this is his best movie. So if this is better than like The Master or There Will Be Blood, holy shit. Exciting times, exciting times. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Aaron, you didn't even tell me if you were doing anything this weekend.
Watch some ball.
What the fuck is out back with the old TV with the antennas?
Just a ball watcher. No pause. Start.
Well, you heard him, guys.